And then ensure transparency means like you have to be transparent on the documentation and what are the ways that you are going to implement. It's not something like, okay, so whatever the requirement is coming, you are trying to implement with whatever the knowledge you already have. Not like that. So it has to be, the strategy has to be there from the beginning itself. Okay, and everything needs to be documented. So these are the 5 golden rules that SAP has defined, and they are trying to educate all the implementation partners or customers while they are implementing S/4HANA. Okay, and as I have mentioned, we will be mainly focusing on the user, so standard use the standard solutions. We'll be seeing those things in a while, and then like the integration and extensibility technologies. So integration and extensibility technologies, those things will be with BTP. Okay. Now, as I was trying to mention you, like S/4HANA, this is a completely new breed of SAP ERP. Okay, there you can't do the AC11. Yeah, definitely those things will be available in S/4HANA as well, but it is not advisable to use this AC11, AC38 kind of like coding, custom reports or something like that. Use SM30 to have the table maintenance, CMOD, SMOD, where you generally do the customer exits or user exits, right? Or even ACGW, where you generally implement the OData services, okay, for your gateway development. And most probably you are using ADT as well. But going forward, maybe you will see there are other alternate ways. There are standard ways to implement S/4HANA without using ADT as well. Okay, so maybe you are using ADT to implement CDS or those kind of like AMDP kind of things. But going forward, you will understand easily like sometimes maybe it is unavoidable to use ADT, but maximum of the times you can avoid ADT, and you should avoid ADT, even the Eclipse as well. Okay, or even like those HANA Studio as well. Okay, so now the question is, okay, so when I'm saying all these kind of things, maybe you see you are finding yourself uncomfortable, like what Parth is saying. So we will not be using SM30, we will not be using ACGW or AC38. Then how the report, how the enhancement, how the interfaces, or how the workflow will be developed. Okay, so now this is the way. Okay, so there are 2 things. So one is the in-app development, and another one is side-by-side development. Okay, so whichever the things we need to do inside the core system like S/4HANA, we will be doing it in-app techniques. In-app technique in the sense, SAP has given you already some kind of framework, some kind of standard Fiori applications to develop certain things with limited access. Okay, and I'm not repeating those things. Why SAP is restricting those things in S/4HANA? Because those part already we have covered in our previous training, like L1 and L2. Because we have to keep our core system clean. We have to minimize the custom development in S/4HANA or the core system, because there would be issues while you will be migrating I mean, upgrading your system, right? Or migrating your applications. So those times, this is an issue. Okay, we have seen it earlier. So I'm not repeating all those kind of things. Maybe if you want, you can check the first day of the level 1 and level 2 training. Okay. So now the question is, okay, so if we have to develop something in core system, okay, we have options in in-app extensibility options. Okay. So there, what you can do is you can do minimum things like, okay, so if you have to do table development, okay, if you have to build a custom table, you will not go to AC11 and build the custom table. You will have to do the custom business object. So it will be more controlled way. Like SAP can control those kind of custom development, and going forward, well, you will be upgrading your system. There will not be an issue that SAP is claiming. Okay, and that's true actually. So similarly, like while you will be building any kind of like enhancement, let's say like you wanted to enhance your sales order scenarios, there you generally go with this append structure, include structure, and generally put your custom fields and logics there, right? But going forward, while doing the S/4HANA implementation, don't do those things. You use this custom field and logic application. Okay, so there you can. Where is the pointer? Oh, I'm not in slide mode. Anyway, so you can see, right? So there is option for custom fields and logic. Okay, so which we'll be seeing in subsequent topics, today's topics. Okay, we'll be building the custom business object, we'll be building the custom fields and logic, and we'll see how to do that. And then similarly, like building the, so many times it happens like SAP has given lots of CDSs, like you can find all those kind of CDS and standard APIs in api.sap.com. I have given all those kind of links in the day 00 slide that you have already seen probably, right? So like if you go to this api.sap.com, there you will see lots of standard CDSs, lots of standard workflows, lots of standard APIs, right? OData, REST, all those kind of APIs, sub APIs. But let's say like your requirement is not able to fulfill by the standard CDSs, right? Or standard APIs, then what to do? Let's say like you wanted to add more and more fields, custom fields. So maybe you can look into this particular standard in-app application that is called as custom CDS view. So there you can easily add the custom logics or custom fields in the standard CDSs. Okay, but we need to keep in mind it is not possible to use all those kind of a standard CDS to enhance. Okay, and here one more important thing, you cannot directly access or you cannot directly use the tables. Okay, the directly tables like VBAK, VBAP, you cannot directly use those things in this custom CDS view extensions. Okay, you have to use CDS, standard CDS to extend it. Okay, and there another thing that you have to keep in mind that you have to use the released CDSs. Okay, so how to find the released CDSs, that also we will be finding in subsequent topic. And of course, like if you wanted to add certain fields in the standard Fiori UI, or maybe you wanted to hide, you wanted to modify the standard fields in the standard Fiori UI, there also SAP has given this in-app extensibility options. So you can see everywhere SAP is controlling while you are developing your custom applications, right? And SAP is ensuring the whole package, the whole software package for your longer run. Okay, so these are the topics that will be covering in-app in today's, and we'll be seeing the hands-on as well. Now coming to the side by side, let's say like whatever the things SAP has given as part of the in-app applications, those are not fulfilling your requirement. Okay, your requirement is bigger and this is not fitting under this in-app extensibility option. In that case, what we will do is we'll be going to the side-by-side extensibility option. Okay, so in the side-by-side extensibility option, I'm not going through these things as of now, but as of now you can see like there are options to consume existing application. That means whichever the Fiori application that you are enabling in S4HANA, going forward, don't use the launchpad in your on-premise system. Use the central launchpad. Those will be there in BTP. Okay, as because you will be developing custom application, you will be developing in extension application in BTP, and for those also you will be creating like all those kind of a tile Fiori applications, and those definitely user will be using in the central launchpad. So it doesn't make sense that for certain application user will go to the BTP central launchpad and certain application user will go to the on-premise launchpad. So that's the reason there is a concept of central launchpad. So you can put everything together in the central launchpad, and the end user can use and access on-premise application plus BTP application from a central place. Okay. So that's the concept of consuming existing application inside BTP using side-by-side extensibility option. And then, of course, you can develop the custom application. We'll be seeing what kind of custom application that we can develop. And there will be different extension application. Let's say like you have developed the custom CDS view. And on top of that, let's say like you have developed 5 custom CDS view out of the standard CDS view. Now you can consume all those kind of CDS view and corresponding OData service in your BTP SCAPM kind of application and can build your custom application. That can be considered as a dependent extension application in BTP as part of the side-by-side extensibility. Okay. So maybe now you are very confused when to use the in-app, when to use the side-by-side extensibility. And that's where this training will help you to understand and to have a better, to make a better decision for your project. Okay. So now let's move ahead with the in-app extensibility patterns. Okay. So in-app application patterns. So first of all, like whenever there is some requirement, we have to find some patterns. Okay. So we have to, when you can find certain patterns, you can decide where it actually fit in. and you can easily put together, and you can use the kind of like standard way or whatever the best practice. So you can use that, right? So as I was mentioning, so there are options to enhance the CDS views. You can create custom CDS view. You can create the custom business object, BO, business object, and you can also add custom fields and logic as part of the standard processes. Okay, with this add custom field and logic option. Okay, so here, of course, you can see like, so now we are avoiding AC11 and AC30, okay, with using this custom business object. And now we are using the custom CDS application, and we can easily avoid ADT, Eclipse, or HANA Studio. And also you can see here, we can use the custom field and logic application, and we can avoid all those include append structure and customer user exits, all those kind of things, right? So now let's go case by case, because we wanted to find some patterns while getting some requirement from our functional or business, right? So let's say like business has a very simple requirement to build a custom application. Let's say like business wants to store some data in some table, okay, custom table. So what you will do is you will go with this custom business object. You can create all those kind of like custom business object. Eventually that will create internally the custom table, custom CDS view, custom OData, and with annotation, so that you can easily convert that business object into a beautiful Fiori application within few minutes. Okay. So you can see previously, if we have to do, we have to create a Fiori application with the same requirement. We have to go to SL11, create the custom table. We have to then go to SCGW, create the auditor service out of it, okay, and create all those kind of like CRUD operations, and then use the gateway service and gateway application, and then we can use that particular auditor service somewhere in BTP or anywhere, right? So that is a whole lengthy process, and there are lots of custom components was involved, right? But now it's very simple. Go to custom business object application and just put whatever the custom field that you want. Even there also you can put something like, okay, so I want some value well kind of things. Those also you can put easily, and that's it. Your custom CDS out of that will also get auto-generated. Your custom auditor service also get auto-generated with annotation. Now just use that, and you can build a UI5 application, a Fiori application. Okay, so that's where BTP will come into picture. Okay, because when you will be actually creating this custom business object, it will end up to this. Okay, it will give you the auditor service with annotation in case of the on-premise scenario, on-premise S4HANA. But if you are using on cloud S4HANA cloud, it will also auto-generate the UI for you, okay, the Fiori UI for you. But in case of on-premise, it will not generate. So for that reason, you can easily build a UI application, Fiori application within few minutes. We'll see that in some time. How to consume that auditor service out of this custom business object. So that will be building in BTP, okay? And then now take another scenario, okay? So let's say like business wants to enhance a standard business process with custom fields. They want to store. Let's say like business wants to store the customer feedback, okay? So that particular field is not there in any of the standard stable, okay, or CDS view, right? So in that case, what you can do is, so business will tell you, okay, like, okay, I need this feedback mechanism that I want to get from my customer, and that should store somewhere in my ERP. Okay, so for that, what to do? So previously, maybe you used to find, okay, so now where to actually put that custom field and where to actually populate or write the population logic and all those kind of things using this customer exits or user exits or something like that, right? But nowadays, you just go to this custom fields and logic application. You just put whatever the business process that you want to enhance, right? You can find those particular processes from Fiori app libraries. That is another important link that I have already given in the day 00 list, right? List topics. So hope you have seen all those kind of important links, and just bookmark all those links, okay? Like api.sap.com, Fiori app libraries, and those kind of things, right? tools.hana.ondemand.com, like that. Now, as I was mentioning, okay, so if you can figure out what is the actual business process out of this Fiori app library, then you can just use that standard business process and go to this particular application of SAP Fiori that SAP has already given. And there you can add add the custom fields. Okay. So when you'll be adding the custom fields corresponding to the business scenarios, it will automatically reflect to whatever the corresponding tables that it should exist, right? So you don't have to take care manual adding of this append structure or something like that, right? So it will automatically reflect to all the corresponding tables, the custom field based on the business scenarios. And then as I was mentioning, everything is related with CDS, right? So whatever you SAP has developed is based on CDS and standard. Just a second, guys. I think someone is. Sometime I have to look into this screen because maybe someone is trying to log in. That's fine.
Yeah, I'm admitting, but no issue. Maybe you can continue.
Okay, thank you. So now I was talking about this custom fields and logics, right? Okay, so it will actually reflect to all the standard places, right? And it will also reflect to the standard CDSs as well, okay? And automatically it will also reflect to the standard OData service that will also see. So when you have this standard OData service, again, like you can develop these things and you can also populate data as well there. But maybe like your population logic is complex, okay? So at that point of time, you will go to this BTP, okay? So, or maybe if you have to combine with some other systems data, which is not possible inside the core system, right? So in that case also, you can go to BTP and use the generated OData service or use the standard OData service that you are enhancing out of this add fields and logic extension part. You can use that OData service in your BTP and build the application. And similarly, the custom CDS is also. So here you can also enhance, as I was mentioning. So I will not repeat the same thing here. So you can actually enhance the standard CDSs, which already released. Okay, so that means what are the whitelisted CDSs? Those only you can take as part of this custom CDS enhancement option. And definitely you cannot use the raw tables directly in the logic of this custom CDS. Okay. And
can I ask any query till this PPT? If sorry if I disturbed.
Okay, so just let me finish for one more minute. Okay, then you can ask. So what I'm trying to say here is like, let's say like your requirement. So you have some requirement where you find some CDSs, standard CDS, and you wanted to enhance the standard CDS, but the standard CDS is not released, right? What to do? This is a very dicey situation, right? What to do? So either now you have to see what is the requirement is, okay? And let's say like you are enhancing some core functionality, okay? Let's say like you are enhancing some standard form within S4HANA, right? And that standard form is using some CDSs which is not released, but you want to enhance with some custom fields or something like that, right? But in that case, what you will do? In that case, you can use ADT to enhance the CDSs because custom CDS application will not allow you to use the raw tables, right? In that case, you have to go to ADT, right? And in that case, you can use those raw tables in ADT to enhance the standard CDSs. That's fine. But let's say like this is not for some standard application enhancement inside the code, but you are trying to enhance the standard CDS to get some data outside of S4HANA. Okay, let's say like you have the web shop application. Okay, so from there you are creating order and you have some custom fields there which you wanted to populate in the sales order creation part. At that point of time, maybe you can use, as because you do not have the release CDSs, you cannot enhance using this custom CDS application. In that case, maybe you can try to use the raw tables in BTP. Okay, so why again and again we are trying to think about all those kind of complexities? Because first thing is we have to keep in mind, keep core clean. Okay, and second thing is, if at all we have to do custom development in core system outside of this in-app extensibility, right? We have to be very cautious. And if it is not a futuristic solution, don't use ADT as well. Okay, then in that case, you go to BTP, take the raw table via SDI or some other technique, and then build the CDSs in CAPM. Right? So you can clearly see it is not possible even for these scenarios also to only use the in-app applications, right? And definitely somewhere it is hitting the BTP. And of course, like there are other patterns, BTP patterns that we'll be learning, okay, when to actually think directly BTP, not to think about in-app at all, okay? But from in-app extensibility options as well, you can see there are many possibilities to hit BTP and enhance the standard application. Now you can ask the question before I will jump into the next slide.
Yeah, sorry, Bhatta, for disturbing you. Yeah, so first of all, the first approach, like you mentioned, right? So in on-premise, UI will not be generated automatically, but in cloud, it will be generated automatically. So in that case, can I create UI in the on-premise itself? Instead of BTP, can I do it in on-premise itself?
For
Okay.
which scenario you're talking
First
about?
one, custom BO, custom BO.
Custom BO, if it is on-premise, it will not. Okay, so you were saying instead of creating it in BTP, you will create it in. No, don't do it because because that will again like you have to maintain that application in on-premise, right?
Yeah.
Correct. So in that case, it is again like you are putting custom code, right?
Okay.
And
Okay.
so it's better idea to use. See, the thing is why SAP intentionally put auto generation of this Fiori or UI5 application in S4 cloud, not in S4 on-premise. Because SAP is forcing down the line 10 years, SAP wants to convert all the customers to S4HANA cloud.
Okay.
It is
Okay.
by intention, SAP is putting that. Okay.
Okay.
It can be easily done, right? SAP can do the same thing for on-premise as well. But they are not doing, right? Intentionally it is.
Yeah. And second question is, like in case the series is
one
not.
more thing, when you are migrating, so let's say like you will be developing the things in on-premise, right? And down the line after 10 years, when you will be migrating to S4HANA cloud, right? Again, like you have to rebuild on BTP or something like that, right? So that's the reason. If you are already building it in BTP, you are secure, right? You don't have to migrate or you don't have to maintain all those kind of on-premise things.
Okay. Okay. And second question is, in case the CDS is not released in the custom CDS approach, CDS is not released, so we can use ADT. Suppose if the CDS have the extension point, like the extended views, yeah, definitely we can easily do that. In case it is,
you can do you can do whatever you wanted to do. Okay, so no one will. So there is no restriction as of now. Okay, as of now there is no restriction. You can go to CMOD. You can write your code, but it is not advisable. And maybe going forward, SAP will actually suppress all those kind of T code as well. So what I'm saying is, so when you are saying you will be enhancing the non-released ADSs, it is of course possible. Everywhere it is possible. You can write AC38 program as well.
Okay.
Right, but it is not advisable to do those things. Okay, as a senior developer or architect or whatever the role you are playing, right? You should encourage to follow the right framework in the right direction. That's all I wanted to tell. Yep.
Okay. And then the third one, you have mentioned about OData services. Is it possible to enhance with this custom field logic for a SOAP service also? Because there are some SOAP service in S4 also SAP provided. So can we do that too with this approach?
SOAP service for custom field options, you are saying, right?
Yeah, the third one. Yeah, the third one. Yes.
See, the thing is, if the business object or you'll see that, okay, so what are the options are already available in the add custom field and logic option. If it is already available, you can do it. If it is not, that means SAP is not giving you the option actually.
Okay. And for all these three points, like we are saying, like keep the code clean. Okay, so by using these things, somehow it is creating some kind of custom things. I mean, either adding standard something to the standard or creating some custom ones. So can we say to the customers like these are not coming under keeping the code clean? Like, see, when we say keep the code clean, a lot of customers thinking that we should not create anything, any customer anything in the S4 system. So if you use these,
you are not creating by yourself. Okay,
yeah,
you are not creating by yourself. Like when you are see the thing, the main point is business object. What is business object? Business object means like it is kind of like with your all those kind of like business logic should intact with whatever the development you are doing, right? So because you are not creating any raw things, right? You are not creating any raw tables. You're not creating kind of like
not customer based development. It's like SAP developing by its own. SAP managed. Yeah, SAP managed development. Yeah, correct. Okay, got it. So we can suggest customers like you can use this if that is a simple enhancements or simple development.
Correct.
Okay, got it. Yeah,
so this aligns with the keep the code principle, right?
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. So whatever we'll be learning is part of the keep core principle. So we'll not deviate from that for sure. But sometimes, as I was mentioning, okay, so like this kind of scenario, okay, you have to decide, okay, so what to do. Because let's say like if you wanted to enhance the standard CDS, whether in that case, if you wanted to build a CAPM application, which is kind of like taking like whole lot of raw tables, and the development time is also huge. Let's say like it will take like 1 month of development, maybe, and the application that you wanted to enhance is also resides in the core itself. Okay, so that depends, right? So for those kind of exception you can take. So these are the exception. Okay, so you have to manage the exception as well, and that's the reason also this exception also needs to be very transparent as part of this. Okay, you have to document those exceptions so that when you will be migrating to the upper version, so it's very clear that what are the things you have to test again.
For the one final question, sorry. So if SAP's main intention is to keep the SO clean, they are asking customers to go with BTP for all the developments. So that is the, so in case suppose customers are having some other cloud infrastructure, not BTP. In that case, can we suggest something? I mean, because customers don't want to go to BTP, but they want this keep core as a clean. So anything we can do in this area? Like, can we suggest something else?
See, if you're expert, you can suggest. Okay,
Okay.
but I'll not lecture not many things on that. Right?
Okay,
But it depends, right? So if you are saying customer is already using Azure or AWS or GCP or whatever, right? And the customer has experienced team in that, they can do it, but keep in mind all the security aspects first. Okay, that's very important. The scalability can be taken care in any cloud, but the security aspects, I think the most of the things can only be done in BTP. Let's say like from the cloud connector perspective, from SDI perspective, all those kind of things. It is something like BTP can handle. Okay, so just think about that, the destination and cloud connector. So you can get your answer easily.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so let's move ahead.
1 minute. May I ask, the CDS that we talk about, are these the native CDS views or the ABAP CDS views?
ABAP CDS views. These are all ABAP CDS views.
Okay.
Okay, so let's move ahead to the next thing, the BTP application pattern. I'm just thinking whether I should. Okay, let's complete this thing, then we'll go to the hands-on. So we have learned something, the in-app application patterns. And see, the thing is, whenever I'm actually giving you these lectures, so maybe you will find lots of topics and sometimes you are getting lost, right? So don't worry. Subsequent topics, we'll also try to build some kind of decision trees as well, okay? Based on our experience, learning experience, okay? We'll try to build our decision trees, okay? When to use what, and that will be very much clear in your project development as well. Now, coming to the BTP application patterns, so you have seen, right? So while developing in-app application also, so many times we'll be actually taking help of BTP, okay, to develop or enhance the in-app, whatever the things that we are doing. And now, what is the very clear scenario? We have to definitely go to BTP. So those are the patterns that I'm trying to highlight here. So you can see these are the 6-7 patterns, like kind of like proxy application, okay? Yeah. So these are the so what is this proxy application, convenience application, substitute applications? Okay, so let us understand with some kind of example as well. So many times it happens like your application will be used by so many end users. Okay, let's say it's a customer facing application. Okay, and so many customers will be using that particular application. The application exists in on-premise itself, but you don't want it to give the direct access to on-premise to your external customer, or maybe like huge volume of customers, right? Huge range of customers. So in that case, you can use this kind of like proxy application. Okay, maybe you can think of the proxy application as kind of like, just think about standard Fury application which you are directly using from cloud launchpad, central launchpad. Okay, so it is not a direct access to on-premise system, but it is filtering or it is via the BTP. Okay, So wherever you will see like high availability, high throughput kind of requirement, you can think about this proxy application. Then convenience application, right? Like many applications you will see, there are SAP is giving many application with a lot of feature many times, right? But maybe your customers or your end user is not using all those kind of features, right? Maybe they are using 30-40% of feature out of those standard application. So in that case, what you can do is you can optimize and take certain part of the standard application. I mean, like when I'm talking about certain part, I mean to say, uh, like take all the CDS views corresponding to the certain part of the feature, okay, of the standard application or corresponding OData service, and build a convenience application so that it will be more convenience to use from the end user perspective. Okay, so that is another scenario that you can build. And what is substitute application? Substitute application in the sense like, okay, so you have quite a custom business requirement which is fitting to the standard, but you can see you have to do a lot of custom enhancement. You have to do a lot of enhancement. Let's say as part of this custom CDS or custom fields, logics, okay, or combination with this custom business object as well. So in that case, you can think about like, okay, so I wanted to build a customer 365 application, but this is totally customized, kind of like substitute of standard application. You are taking the standard OData services and CDSs, but on top of that, you are building a simplified substitute application. Okay. So going forward, maybe like the end user will not be using the standard application at all. What is someone saying? Yeah. Actually, I forgot my pen as well today. From tomorrow onward, I will be taking care of all those things. Okay. So fine. Now let's say maybe I'll be writing all those things. Okay. As a note, and I'll be sending it to you all. And then pre-processing application, pre-processing and post-processing application. Okay, let's imagine the similar application. Let's say like web shop or e-commerce based application, like you are taking the orders, online orders. Okay, and online orders means like customer will definitely not go to the PA01 to create the order, right? So they will be having kind of like Amazon.com, something like that, and they will be putting their orders right online. But at the end, it should hit the S4HANA to maintain all those kind of things in a central system, right? So, and let's say like, as I was mentioning some of the things, like, let's say you wanted to take the customer feedback kind of things, right? So those things maybe is not present as part of the standard application. So you can enhance those things and you can actually take the data from web shop. I'm just giving one example, okay? And then take it to the standard process. So at the end, when you are hitting to S4HANA, it is going to the standard OData service of sales order creation. But before that, you are taking the data from somewhere else, right? And that can happen in BTP because you don't want to develop the things in BTP in on-premise system. You wanted to have some kind of pre-processing of data while actually doing the core process in S4HANA. This is kind of like pre-processing kind of application, like collecting the data in BTP, then process it in core system. And then post-processing application. Post-processing means like event-based. Okay, so the React-based, like whenever there is a sales order gets created, maybe you wanted to send the confirmation to the customer, right? So that your sales order got successfully created in our backend system, right? So definitely, whenever there is a sales order creation happened or sales order change happened, you are sending immediately the event to the BTP, and then BTP will send all those kind of things to the customer notification or whatever. Okay, so those maybe fall under this post-processing kind of application. And of course, like this is a very important part, analytical application. Definitely, as a ERP-based company, maybe your customer is already using other different applications other than ECC or S4HANA, maybe Concur, Ariba, Fieldglass, whatever. Okay, and they wanted to collect data from different data sources along with the S4HANA data, and then they wanted to do some kind of analysis, okay, for future prediction or future sales perspective, all those kind of things. So every company does, and this is a very important sector for each company to have the sales prediction or any kind of prediction or analytics or past analytics. So definitely this is a clear scenario for BTP because you can't do the data collection in your core system and do this kind of analytics, right? So for those kind of things, you can think about analytical application. Collect the data from different data source. Maybe I'm just taking one example. You put it in HANA Cloud, build the data model, create OData service, build the application, or use SSE to actually do this kind of analysis. So you have seen this 6 kind of like patterns in BTP centric application, and of course like the new application where you wanted to combine. So there is a completely different business cases where you can't find any kind of standard application which is mitigating your requirement, customer requirement. So in that case, definitely you can build the totally custom application, let's say like using the CAPM framework, HANA Cloud, and Fury, and kind of like even you can use workflow, form, whatever you wanted to do in BTP, right? Maybe you can collect different data sources from different source and build your logics, whatever you wanted to do, you are free to do whatever you wanted to do. So these are the BTP application patterns also you can clearly see, which is very distinguished outside of this in-app application. So why I included this in-app application? The first thing is you are not a junior developer. You have to actually give the right kind of solution to the customer, right? So definitely you have to think. So it's not something like your job is to collect the requirement and do the coding and that's it, right? But you have to also give the right kind of solution as well, right? So that's the reason you have to think about in-app as well. And of course, like while building the BTP application, also many times we'll be taking help of the in-app application to create the baseline things, right? And go to the BTP to enhance further. So now very important point, like as I was mentioning, like how to do this side-by-side extensions, okay? So there are different options, like you can see, like we can take the data. So we have seen heavily in our level 1 and level 2 training, like we were bringing the data from our core system in HANA Cloud, and on top of that, we were building our application, right? So similarly, you can also get the data as part of the OData APIs as well. So we have also seen that as well at certain level. So we'll go more deeper and deeper in this training sessions, okay, subsequent sessions. So you can get the data as a raw data, replicate the data in BTP, and then on top of that, you can build the application. Then you can get the data out of your core system as part of the APIs also, and on top of that, you can build the application. You can use the event-based mechanism also to get the data from your core system and then build application in your BTP. Also, you can use the workflow also to enhance the standard workflow, or you can also build the custom workflow. We have already seen the custom workflow building in our previous training, right? So we'll see some kind of like deep topics, or I would say like advanced topic in the workflow development as well. And of course, like Fury would be your right choice for your UI integration and development. So until now, any question? Maybe I can take it. Then we'll go to the hands-on exercise. While the question is compiling in your mind, let me just set up all those kind of things that I need for this hands-on. Are you there?
Further, yes. I mean, not much queries with the later slides.
Okay. Sorry. So what we are trying to do here is now we'll see how to do certain things in in-app extensibility. How many of you are familiar and experienced with this in-app? Can you please raise your hand? Let me just take a quick look. Anyone? Good. Nice. So that's the reason I'm here. Okay. So while we will be doing the in-app extensibility, definitely we need the core system as well, right? So in our training, I'll be using this particular system. Maybe if you want, you can also use the same system. If you have your own system, you can use it. It's similar. Okay. I will tell you what are the steps that you need to set up if you are using your own system. So if I go inside to my system, okay, so here while doing the in-app extensibilities or whatever, if you are doing the BTP as well, it's very important to use the Fury app library, okay? Because there only you will be finding the different options. Okay, so let's say like what we wanted to do here is,
Partha, to use your system, what are the steps we need to do?
yeah, I'll be sharing the details.
Okay.
I'll be sharing the details. Okay, so we'll see these two options, okay? The custom business object first, and then we'll be also using this add custom fields and logic. Maybe you can try yourself the custom CDS as well later point of time. So how to do this custom business object? It is very simple, okay? Let me just show you how to do it. For that custom business object, what we need to do? As because I said, like this is a Fury application, right? So this particular Fury application will come as part of this. Let's say this is the Fury application. So how to get the Fury application also you know, right? So you can use this /UI2 /FLP /UI2 /FLP. If you use this T code, it will actually open up the Fury application launchpad. I think I mean to say. So if you just take this, I'm just copying this, copy, and let's say I'm using a new one. Paste. Okay. Now, if I just scroll down, so you can see lots of standard Fury applications are appearing.